What is your name?
Alice Kesey Mikoy.
We're really glad you're here, Alice. Just why on who are you and why did you come?
I'm a great 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 granddaughter of John Brown through his daughter Annie, and I was invited to come and join in this weekend of Descendant celebrations.
What's it been like so far?
It's been great. I've had a wonderful time, done some interviews, been around and seen all the sites. Went to Harpers Ferry on Friday and was all excited. I've
This is
never
my
been here
town.
before. It's my first time here, so I was real excited.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it must be. What's it like for you to see all of this? Oh, you've been here before, right?
No, this was my first time to this part of the country, so it's goosebumps a lot, and it's very overwhelming.
Gosh. Alice, when did it start getting overwhelming for you? Was there some at Harper's Ferry today? Did you realize the significance of everything?
Actually, last night when we went to the house where the gallows were, that was very emotional for me. Just knowing that this is, I'm within feet of where he was actually hung.
Yeah. What did how old were you when you started realizing that you had a very important ancestor?
Well, I didn't know I was related till I was 16. A local historian found my family and let me know about it, and I've been researching on and off ever since. The last 5 years I've been really dedicated to researching. My children went off to college and I had some free time, so I've been working on updating Dr. Gee's work, Dr. Clarence Gee. He did the genealogy of all of John Brown's family up through the 50s, and I've taken his work and I'm bringing it forward.
What do you want people to know about your ancestor, John Brown?
John Brown was for equal rights for everyone. He wasn't just about freeing the slaves, although that is an important thing. He believed in equal rights for women and men, any nationality, any sex, any gender, any race, any monetary. He didn't care. Everyone was equal. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool.
I think we've been in here before a long time ago.
Are there other John Brown things in here?
Yep,
That's the wagon there.
that's the wagon.
That's the wagon, the infamous wagon.
That's the last ride.
It's a beautiful country. I haven't seen enough of it, he says.
Here he's going to his last ride.
I've still got one, and then I've got all kinds of information on the.
Still calm and cool.
That's all I know.
They all talk about his Governor Wise was even impressed. Remember that?
Yes, he was just so centered and knew exactly what he was doing, and there's no doubt he wasn't crazy. He knew what he was doing.
Why do people say he's crazy?
Well, the plan was a little strange, you have to admit, to go steal the armory and go hide in the mountains. He was more of a zealot. He was religious, and he was adamant in slavery, so people gave him the name of being a madman or crazy.
Mm-hmm.
For his time. Yeah, he was,
And considering there's a national park named after his action, I guess he did get something accomplished.
Yes, he did. He did.
well,
But there's
is
still people who don't like that.
Yeah.
There's quite a few things here if you want to look around.
Are there any family recollections of
Not in my family, because Annie did not talk about John Brown, the connection. I didn't know I was related till I was 16. I have a number of stories, I've acquired over the years now. I do have one. John Altstadt was taken as one of his hostages. I was at my girlfriend's house 9 years ago, and she was singing John Brown's Baby Has a Cold Upon Its Chest, and I laughed and said, "You can't sing that, that's my song." And she said, "Yes, I can. My great-great-great-grandfather was taken hostage by John Brown. Her name is Judy Altstadt." I said, "Oh, my grandfather took you hostage."
Now let's go have a beer.
So the joke of our families now is that we're easing the tensions between the families because we've become good friends. But we live across the street from each other.
Unbelievable. Talk about degrees of
down in
separation.
Texas?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, that looks great. Well, thank you so much for coming here. Can you tell us your name and which historic figure you're related to, and how's it going?
Hello, my name is Brenda Pitts, and I'm from Columbus, Indiana, and I'm the great grandniece of John Anthony Copeland. And this is about my third or fourth time visiting Harpers Ferry, which is a very special place to our family. When I was a little girl, my grandmother, who was very proud of her family history, would tell all of her grandchildren the story of John Brown and Harpers Ferry and our uncle John Copeland, who fought so valiantly with John Brown. And as most of you know, he was one of the ones that ended up being hung. It wasn't until I became an adult and retired from a full-time job that I started to research and find out the story behind the man. And in finding that out, I looked at a family that was extremely generous and who were generous to the point of willing to give up their lives for others, as did my uncle, who gave up his life so that others could be free. And he did this not in a unthoughtful manner. He just believed so deeply in his heart that he was a person who was destined to help free the slave, because he knew as long as the slaves were enslaved that no man could really be free. The other thing that stands out for me is he's a man who believed very deeply in the Declaration of Independence that said that all people in this country were free. And he felt so strongly that black men had fought as valiantly as white men for this country's freedom, and therefore everyone should participate. So this is what John Copeland means to me, a man who loves others so much that he was willing to sacrifice his life for me as well as strangers. So thank you for this opportunity to share a little bit about my uncle.
Thank you.
Okay, my name's Anita Marie Ogle Talbot, and I learned I have 3 siblings, an identical twin, older brother and younger brother, and from a very early age we were told that we were related to John Brown, and with very much pride, and so I've carried that pride for years. My grandfathers, we were related on my mother's side of the family, and her father's name was Isaac Brown Hulse. And the sad thing is that when we were very young, we didn't think to ask how we were related. We just knew we were. And my mother had 7 siblings, and they kept telling us the story over and over again that we were related to John Brown. And so I always just carried that around with pride. And if I had lived in his era and been able to, as a woman, to help with the Underground Railroad, I would have, because that is one of my firm beliefs. So,
What do you want people to know about your ancestor? Is there something you want to make sure people understand, or that he's misunderstood? Anything?
well, I think there's a lot of misunderstanding. I've learned a lot by reading as much as I have, knowing I was coming here. And what I have learned most about my uncle, if you will, is that he memorized the Bible, and since he read the Bible so often and knew it, he could forgive people most anything, because he understood that it was human nature to do weird things, if you will. But the one thing he could not acknowledge or accept in any way, shape, or form was slavery. And I agree with him 1,000,000%. He had a very gentle soul. He's been known to be, from the readings that I've done, I think he may have been manic, but he was manic in a way that he believed with his whole heart and soul what he believed in, and he stood behind his beliefs no matter what the price. And this is the price he paid. But
This wagon here?
this wagon,
And you said this is the first time you've seen this?
this is the first time I've been here.
There's a story that as he was going to the hanging in his wagon, he saw the Blue Ridge and said, "My God, this is a beautiful country," or something like that. Did you know that?
I have so much to learn. But I have to tell you, I am very proud of my heritage. Just very proud of it. So it's an honor for me to be here.
Thank you.